don't have that kind of money.
You understand that we're talking about your life.
Yes.
Now take good care of yourself.
The much-anticipated animated series Mellow Moromi is finally making its television premiere. Miss Sagi, as the creator of the character Moromi, how do you feel right now as the big moment approaches?
Well, Moromi has grown so much with all the love he's received. And how should I put it? I hope the series will allow even more people to feel the sense of peace he's already brought to so many.
It's so heartwarming just to look at him, isn't it?
Oh, well, thank you. I'm really happy to hear that Moromi makes you feel that way.
Thank you. And don't miss Mellow Moromi.
Did you hear? They say Little Slugger showed up again. No, he's not little anymore.
I heard he's stronger now and built like a rock.
His entire body is rough and jagged and
his face is all messed up just like this.
They say he's more monster than human now, a demon.
I already know exactly who you are. I called you. I asked for you to come here. I admit the thought did occur to me that I wanted a way out, that it wasn't worth having an operation in order to prolong my life. But now I realize that I was wrong. How could I ever let myself wish to die even for a moment, when I know that if I were to die, I would be betraying my husband? I believe you know my husband quite well, don't you? Huh? Don't you understand yet? Take a look at this room. Doesn't it tell you something? That's correct. You know who he is.
Hey, mister, you can't go that way.
They say that you choose desperate people who are trying to escape from reality and then attack them indiscriminately. Do you think by doing this you're helping to ease their burden? That you're somehow giving them salvation? Please do sit down. I'm going to help make you understand that human beings are not the weak and wretched creatures that you seem to think they are. So sit down right there. I was born with a delicate constitution, and throughout my entire childhood, doctors told me there was little chance I would survive for very long.
Huh?
So even when I reached adulthood, I never dared dream about getting married. But then he came into my life, and everything changed. He told me that he would accept everything about me exactly as I was. He said, "There's nobody I want but you." I was overjoyed. We decided to get married as soon as we could and live a modest, humble life together. I was so happy back then. But unfortunately, that happiness did not last for very long. We'd wanted to have a family, but soon learned that I was unable to bear children. My body wasn't strong enough for childbirth. I was in complete despair. I was too ashamed to face my own husband, and I have never cursed myself as much as I did then. But despite all of my problems, he still forgave me. He held me tightly and said, "No matter what happens, we'll deal with it." And then I started to cry. I buried my head in his arm, and I cried for a long time. You can search the whole world and never find someone as noble and high-minded as him.
Hey, you're late! What makes you think you can be so late?
I'm very sorry. The job at the other site ran a little late.
I don't want to hear your damn excuses. Now get your ass to your station.
Yes, sir.
Hey! What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
And so I made a decision. I would become a woman who was worthy of him. I would dedicate myself to him entirely. And my health would not become an issue. No. But then for some reason, while I'd wanted to do all I could for him, it seemed he started staying away from home more and more. Initially, I just kept telling myself that I had to accept it because he was doing his job. But then I began to fear that perhaps the truth was maybe he had finally grown tired of me. What if he was just using his work as an excuse to stay away from me? I couldn't blame him. As you can see, I am and always will be a useless invalid. I couldn't stand it. It wasn't the fact that I was losing him. It was the thought that I had somehow become a great burden to him. And that hurt. Because if that was really the case, I'd rather... I'm so ashamed. My husband was out there every day working himself to the bone for me. And still, how could I possibly be a decent wife when I couldn't even trust him? What a despicable and truly unforgivable thought that was. I became ashamed of myself and waited for him to come home. And while I waited, I took heart in the firm belief that just as my husband would always be my home, I was his home.
Why don't you go home early for a change? Well, your wife's waiting for you. That's the point of finishing up early, isn't it? Why are you racing around to 3 different construction sites?
You don't need to remind me.
Ah, these stupid freaking tests. Seriously, what a hassle. Wish that little slugger would show up.
If he wants to do something, why doesn't he destroy the school?
So where do you want to go?
I want to go to the beach. Hey, where do you want to go? I'm hungry. Oh, really? That's totally possible.
After all, there's no place like... Sorry I'm late.
Don't worry, I'll show you the ropes. You can just leave your stuff right there. So, what did you do? Oh, come on, you can tell me. You don't become a security guard at your age unless you've gotten into something. Hold on. Judging by the look on your face, I'd say... this?
No, I never...
Damn, wrong guess, huh? I thought maybe we had something in common.
You mean you...
Oh, who, me? I spent 5 years locked up in the big house. When I got out, I couldn't find a job. But you know, you don't need any experience to be a security guard, so... Ikari? Officer Ikari? It is you, isn't it? You're Officer Ikari. Hey, don't you recognize me? You know, you nabbed me once.
Wait, Inukai?
I wanted to be a good wife and tried to make this house his home. A place where he could rest and recover his peace of mind. I wanted this to be a place for him to eventually come back to, even if it wasn't something he ever really paid much attention to. I'd prepare his bath and bed for him every day, so that he could always come home at any time. I remember one night, a rare occasion when he was eating dinner at home, he suddenly said to me, "You know what? Your dinner is really the best, and it's only because of you that I'm able to focus on my work and do my job." And then one day, something happened. Something that would take everything my husband and I had spent so long building together and shatter it all in an instant. That's right, when he took your case.
Seems kind of ironic, doesn't it? An ex-detective and an ex-burglar meeting up again years later as co-workers?
Well, you can imagine how surprised I was. I mean, I never thought I'd see you in a place like this.
But I have to say I'm impressed. Knowing you, I would have thought for sure you'd go back to your old occupation after you finish serving your sentence.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, there's no place for an old-school burglar like me anymore. They've got new terms and tools for just about everything. It's ridiculous.
Even back in the old days, you were a real classic. Covering your face with a bandana and carrying a big burlap sack. I almost laughed when I caught you.
You can't have a burglar without a burlap sack.
That's very true. A burglar comes with a burlap sack, a drunk comes with packed sushi, and Oden always comes in 3 different shapes. Those are the 3 things you can count on in life.
Yeah, those sure were the days. Looks like the times have passed us by.
It's the same everywhere.
Huh?
Nothing. I don't know why, but for some reason, seeing you again, I get this strange feeling like I've come home somehow.
I wonder why that is. Huh? You know, I still remember the words to that sermon you gave me. The world around us may be wrong, but there must be some things in this world that are right. That's how we can go on living. That was it.
You are an insult to my husband. Each and every time you attack someone, you trample upon the very things he stood for. I remember he once told me that he would not be coming home until he had finally arrested you. And I gave him my consent. If he was going to put everything on the line in order to arrest the attacker, then my job as his wife was to encourage and support him in his decision. And so even though we were apart, my heart was always there right with him. The 2 of us, together, standing up side by side against you. But then...
So they fired you.
There's no place on the force for an old-fashioned detective like me anymore. We're in the same boat, you and me.
You just ended up with the short end of the stick. You know, I heard about that case when it was on the news. A young kid on skates running around hitting people with a baseball bat. It was sheer madness. That monster is simply a product of our time.
You're right about one thing. That kid's a monster.
We had lost. As a husband and wife, we had been defeated. Huh? My husband had lost his only job, and there was absolutely nothing left for the 2 of us to live on. But still, we refused to give up. What good was it to just wallow forever in disappointment? My husband went out and managed to find a new job. He takes great pride in his job and works himself to the bone for us. That's right. Despite everything, we've somehow found the strength to move forward.
I've had enough, actually. I put my ass on the line trying to find the bastard, and they send me packing. And now look at where I've ended up.
But this job isn't so bad when you think about it.
Yeah, you're right, it's not bad. Just about any loser can handle it.
What? What's that thing there?
Oh, well, I may be a loser. This dog is a winner. I found it out on the street.
Ooh.
Come on, hurry up! If we don't get there quickly, it's gonna start!
Oh, excuse me there, sir. We're working here. If you could please use the service door.
Oh, detective! What are you doing here?
If you'd please use the service door, it's down this way. Misagi, your dog here. If you look closely, he's kind of cute.
We were just barely able to scrape by, and my medical expenses were continuing to spiral upwards with no end in sight. We became increasingly desperate. I told him that it was my fault, that if he hadn't been with me, he never would have had to endure this life of hardship. He stared at me long and hard, looking furious, and then he said, "Don't ever say those words again. You're just trying to find some way to escape from all this. You can't give in or delude yourself. You can't always think there's an easy answer. No matter how hard it may be, if you don't run away, we'll overcome it together." Those were his words, which he said with total conviction, because that's the man he is. Noble, strong, and courageous. You came here because you wanted to take advantage of me when I was vulnerable. You came here to kill me. You came here offering me a false salvation. But I can no longer be seduced. Dying is not an answer, and I will never wish for it again. Yes, now you know the real truth about humans. No matter how painful it may be, we can always face reality. But you don't understand that, because you're not human. You simply hurt and kill those who are troubled and delude yourself that you're removing their burdens. How pretentious. All you can do is rejoice over your own actions. Your existence itself is a deception. Yes, deluding people with temporary peace of mind. You and Moromi are in fact one and the same. I've decided to have the operation.
Sorry I insisted on dragging you here.
Don't worry about it. We can drink to our failures.
Oh, come on. Why don't you cheer up a little? Work's important, but it's not the only thing in life. I thought you told me that you have a wife, didn't you? Oh, but you said that she wasn't well.
Fortunately, she's still with me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I remember you telling me once that she was always very good to you.
Yeah, she is a good wife. Maybe she's even too good. Always waiting for me at home. Airs out my bedding even when it rains. Heats the bathtub even when the water's been cut off. Once I had to go on an unexpected business trip and was gone for a week. When I got home, there was a week's worth of dinners left on the table. She'd been sitting in front of them, waiting for my return the whole time I'd been gone.
Here you go.
She's been sick for so long, it's starting to affect her mind. Up until today, I've been doing everything I possibly could to try and support her. But I may have reached my limit.
You're just tired, that's all. Here, have some Oden. It's all because of that stupid damn case. You just need to forget about it. It's time to move on.
Truth is, I don't care anymore.
Eh?
I really don't give a damn about the case or the little slugger. There's only one thing I really know for sure anymore, and that's that my time is over. You want to know the real reason why I became a cop? It's because when I was a kid, I always dreamed about chasing burglars like you, the ones with the burlap sacks of loot. But I'm afraid that now those days are lost and gone forever, aren't they? There's no place for me anywhere anymore.
I don't know about that. Let's go.
What's this? Hey!
Can I help you?
Smokes.
You got it. thief! Please help stop him! He's getting away!
Hey, you, stop! 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 Now give it up and come quietly!
Mrs. Ikari.
He hasn't come home yet. My husband. He hasn't come home yet.
You mean the chief?
To begin, a unicorn fighting ferociously, guided by the crowd of swarming dolls and the voice of the wise old sage. Obtains an ancient sword at the base of the moon, and now moves on to Pegasus. Did someone call for the holy warrior? But she was such a good little child. And then